a new term, sandbagging. So EO's just sandbagged the whole event, man. And by the way, he misused that term again because it's not sandbagging, it was throwing. So again, EO misused fighting game terms. Dear Diamonds and fellow Diamonds in the Rough, as we all know, in the Honkai Star Rail side of the gacha streets, there's a lot of drama going on right now with a name that I feel like whenever is mentioned, drama and trouble tends to ensue. Unfortunately, the gacha community didn't have him. For those of you guys that don't get the joke, it's EO. EO tends to have a very, very strange effect on the gacha community, I've noticed. Like, bro is, I don't know if it's some form of charisma. I wouldn't put it like that. But it's definitely, he has a way with words and how he does things that it definitely gets a reaction from the gacha community. Now, without further ado, we're gonna go over exactly what went on in this drama, give you guys everything there is to know, and I'll give you guys in the end my opinion on what happened. I will be as brief as possible. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh wait, like, comment, subscribe. I forget to say that a lot because, you know, grandpa brain, but I'd appreciate the support. I really would. What are the rules that these competitors have to respect in this competition? Okay, this is important and it will come up later. So here's the first one that you got to know. This came from Smack. We appreciate Smack for giving us the information. So let's get on it. The first rule is, well, technically the first thing that you should know about the tournament, to be more specific, not the rules, but also the things about the tournament that we should be aware of, is that the competitors were told about the tournament only 48 hours before the actual event. Now, in a perfect world, this is completely enough. But because people can have responsibilities and other things in their lives, maybe I was planning to go visit my mother the next day or something. Like, this could prove a detriment for a lot of people. So in my opinion, I feel like the tournament and the organizers of the tournament should have thought more about the impact this small window of time is gonna have for the participants, in my opinion. And it goes even further, a step further, in the sense of, you know, about your teammates, because you gotta keep in mind that this was a team effort tournament, as in, it's not just you and your teammate have to perform to do good and to win. It's a duo queue. It's not a solo queue, it's a duo queue. I feel like it's the perfect example. So they knew about their teammates 36 hours before the tournament began, which means you had a day and a half to get together with your teammate. No respect for time zones. Maybe you could have already missed 12 hours because of time zones, because you had to sleep. Imagine being human. Just for you to know who the teammate was and for you to start preparing for the event, because, you know, as the rules are going to show, preparing for this event is massively, massively important, which we're about to get to right now. So what about the rules of the tournament? The first one is you must always have Silver Wolf for some reason. If you knew about this rule, why didn't everybody level their Silver Wolf? And by everybody, I mean EO. If you know this character is something that you have to use, like it's forced upon you to use Silver Wolf, why not level it? Level her shit. Make sure it's the best it can be, because you know one of you guys in the team have to use Silver Wolf. So I don't know about not leveling her traces and not making sure she's the best she can be. I feel like Silver Wolf should be top priority in your account if you know about this rule, in my opinion. Level 60 Lycon. So his Silver Wolf had a level 60 Lycon is what you're telling me, man? Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. How many chances to do a run? I think you had one reset, as in one retry, which means you can go twice. I feel like this is big and there was a lot of misinformation going around. All prizes below were split between teammates. First place gets a $5,000, second place $25, third place $1,000, fourth place $500. So the total, by the way, is $9,000, not $10,000. We don't know where the extra 1,000 is. If you guys have seen or heard of the $1,000, that $1,000 is mine. Let me know, please, so that I can come and get the last $1,000. That's completely mine, man. Who told you it wasn't mine? That $1,000 is mine, which means the first place, don't forget, this is a two-man effort, which means this is a split. So for you solo, like as in yourself, if you win this tournament, you get $2,500. It's still a lot of money. It's still a lot of money for people that just go like, oh, it's just $2,500. This is just the effect you had because you thought it was $10,000, and now it's just a quarter of that. But still, it's $2,500. Like, bro, most y'all watching this don't have $2,500 in your bank account. So no, I do believe this matters, but not a lot. Like as in, it's still a lot of money. Okay, it's still a lot of money. I just wanted to clear the misinformation, all right? How it all started. So there we were sitting down, minding our own business. The event has ended. The next day, Mr. Pokey is made aware that Iyo has not leveled all his traces in his Honkai Star Rail account that he used for the tournament. Now, a lot of us don't have certain traces leveled, so it's not a huge deal. Well, it becomes a big deal when that very thing that you did not level came up and was the ultimate cause of the loss in the tournament. I feel like that's a big deal. I feel like you should have done a better prepping and making sure that any possible team combination you could have wanted to use could have been leveled as much as possible for you to be fully prepared, especially when we're going in a tournament where the intent is to win money, okay? I think Iyo himself went and talked to someone and said that I'm a fighting game player, so when I go in, it's to win. Like I'm a competitive person, so if I'm going in to win. Like I ain't here to play no games. Well, I guess the spirit was there. Unfortunately, the preparation wasn't really there, which because that wasn't there, it kind of negates the spirit. So I'm having a hard time juggling how competitive Iyo work. I mean, maybe he'll let us know, who knows. So Mr. Pokey went ahead and vented everything for what happened in the tournament. He expressed his frustration mostly to Iyo's lack of preparation, not to Iyo himself, but what Iyo has done to not be as ready as he could be for the tournament. Now, what started to shift and happen was there was a lot of blame being thrown around. Pokey's looking at him going, well, you didn't level up your traces. That cost us the game. And he was like, well, you could have told me to level my traces. You weren't there in preparation. The issue with that is it's a fair point from Iyo, but the problem was it's the tournament's fault, not Pokey's fault, in the sense of they only had 36 hours with time zones, which Iyo confirmed they have time zone differences. It's not enough. It's not enough time for Pokey. And especially if busy as Mr. Pokey is, or I assume he is, okay, like I couldn't be there with you to prepare. I don't have to tell you though that you need to level up your traces. This is like the first gacha 101 rule. You wanna level up your character, you ascend them as much as possible. That's step 1. You then go to your traces, talents, etc. That's step 2. Then you go to the weapon. That's step 3. Or maybe sometimes I prefer the weapon to be step 2 in my opinion. And then you go to the gear. The gear is always the last thing that happens. You not prioritizing your traces or your weapon, which now we heard that Silverwolf had a level 60 Lycone, is not okay, man. Like, it is not okay. I don't know what you're saying there, but it is not okay. They started shifting blame, and that's the situation we're in right now. That's the TLDR of the situation. So what made this go blow out of proportion? Pokey said, you made a mistake. Iyo said, well, you also could have prevented me from making that mistake. Instead of saying, oops, my bad. If Iyo just would have said, oops, my bad. Hey, you know what, man? I guess I could have done better. I could have done better. I guess traces really slipped my mind. It was just 36 hours. Man, I can't believe I missed that. Hey, you know what? We'll do better. We'll get him next time, buddy. We'll get him next time. My bad, man. My bad. I think Legion's Tinfoil Hat conspiracies was pretty funny. It was basically Iyo not wanting to commit to the tournament because of the last drama between him and Pokey. So far-fetched, I think that's still funny. That is such a reach. I heard that in Mr. Pokey's chat. That is a huge, massive level of reach. And I would say that's bad speculation for Iyo. That's bad speculation. Like, why would you think Iyo would stoop that low? I have a hard time believing that. Like, it's pretty bad if you're gonna believe someone would stoop that low and be that petty. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of dangerous. It's like what Solo did to me, and he said like he thinks I went out of my way to find shit about someone, when in reality it was just staring at me in my face. It's like, but that kind of speculation is bad because someone could look at it and go, "Ooh, it's V is so pet. The fuck? Ooh, what a toxic troll." You know what I mean? That's just bad. That is bad. I don't think even Io's that petty. Iyo has an ego. I don't think he's petty. So after all this occurs, and Iyo went ahead to the show thing and made a whole conversation with another creator about his opinion, his takes, and pretty much deflecting blame to Mr. Pokey. We are now at this crossroad, at this weird standstill of, well, whose fault is it? So Mr. Pokey is saying it's your fault, and we're all saying it's your fault. Iyo is over there saying, oh, no, it's Mr. Pokey's fault. He could have told me this, he could have told me that. And I think he even said that some of that shit didn't even matter, where there was RNG, there was certain this, certain that. And so here we are at this weird ass position with someone deflecting everything and someone that's just saying, here's the evidence, here's literally what happened. Now, here's what I would love to say, which is, I think also happened with Smack, and I think it was Gold Dogos. He was with him and his team, but to a very smaller degree. I think they had to pick a character. They should have picked Scooby-Doo. According to Smack, they call Hua Scooby-Doo. Hua, whatever you want to call her. So they had to pick that. Had they picked that, it would have changed the tie of the game. His teammate was like, no, let's pick Bronya. Now, Smack told his teammate beforehand, like, bro, they're gonna take Hua. You should probably take her. Like, you could be right. You could be right, and I could be wrong. But there's a higher chance, I believe, that I'm right. Bro was like, nah, we got this. Smack turned out to be right, and according to Smack, they lost a lot of power and advantage because of that one move. Because his teammate disagreed, and his teammate in the end was like, look, if that were to happen, like, you're right, I get it, etc. But Smack, being the good sport he is, he was like, hey, you know what, man, it's cool, we're just here for fun, blah, 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 blah. All right? Now, I would like to point out also the spirit, which I feel like we should point out. Smack, if you go with how he said it and how he went about it, had a more free carried spirit. Iyo, on the other hand, and especially Mr. Pokey, they went in with like the competitive spirit. Now, the competitive spirit from Pokey was clear. Blood went in strong, blood went in locked in, kind of, but according to Iyo, he wasn't, because he was on stream. But then again, when does Mr. Pokey actually pay attention to his chat and his stream? He does what I like to call the glance. He just like quickly glances in the chat, see if something picks his eye, and he just keeps playing and doing what he does. That's it. A lot of streamers do that. I feel like Pokey falls in that category. So from a streamer perspective, as someone that streams a lot, I can tell you, Pokey is as locked in as a streamer can be, in my opinion. Yeah, he could have had a 100% level of focus if he didn't stream and he just sat there and let the live stream just do itself, as in the event, and not his own live stream of the event. Could have allowed him to focus better and play better. But maybe he doesn't need that. Maybe he can actually do both. Maybe he can multitask. It's completely fine. Like, we don't all have the same abilities, and maybe Pokey had an ability to multitask easy for it. Like, it's completely fine. Pokey took a full day off for it to lock in. Here we go. Like, his prep time, what maybe was like so well that, and plus Pokey does a lot of zero cycling and a lot of in Honkai Star Rail and the MOCs. Like, that's just what he does. Theory crafting. Yeah, besides theory crafting, like, he actually applies. He actually goes in and do the work. So that's what we've seen. Throwing that around doesn't change anything. So ultimately what I've noticed is Mr. Pokey has brought like faults that are clearly we can see in our, like, you know, we can take them at face value. Iyo has brought faults that we can't really take them at face value, and all of them can actually be countered with stuff, whilst Mr. Pokey's really cannot. And this is why I brought up the Smack thing. It's because in this situation, yes, you had a theory of it could have been RNG, Yes, it could have been RNG, but the fact of the matter that it wasn't. You were wrong. It came up, which makes Mr. Pokey right. Yes, there was that possibility. I totally agree. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sure, you can say that for the sake of saying it, but the problem, the fact still remains. What happened was what happened. What happened made it so that your lack of traces, your lack of preparation came up. It is what it is. It is what it is. It does be like that. What I'm trying to say is this. For the faults, Pokey brought face value faults that we can put on EO and go, yeah, he did that. We can see it. It's literally in 4K. EO is giving faults that, yes, on paper could be a factor, but there's no proof and no hard way for us to look at them at face value and go, yeah, for sure, yeah. Pokey should have locked in, man. Pokey should have been there in VC with him for 10 hours instead of Moon and stuff. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. For me, that's too much deflecting from EO. That's just not taking accountability and, you look, owning up to your mistakes is always gonna be a trait that people respect. It will always be the case. Ego is good. You should have ego. You, me, all of us should have ego. A good level of ego, a healthy level of ego. Everybody should have that. But when you have that much ego and your ego blinds you from just taking accountability to your mistakes, yeah, man, that's not a good look. Now we'll have a new term, sandbagging. So EO's just sandbagged the whole event, man. And by the way, he misused that term again because it's not sandbagging, it was throwing. So again, EO misused fighting game terms. EO is misusing terms, and we have a whole repeat of the negative edge shit. It's not sandbagging, it's throwing. Sandbagging is throwing on purpose for a reason to gain an advantage later. There was no advantage to be gained here for sandbagging, so which means it was a throw. You threw the game. The sandbag is not what was happening, homie. That was not it, bro. All this to say, to wrap this whole thing up, I feel like we talked about it a lot. My message to the community would be, people make mistakes. People make mistakes. We can definitely clown on them, make fun of the mistake, etc. That's completely fine to a certain extent. I feel like it's cool, but I feel like we should also know where to draw the line. And I feel like we are at the line. Like, that's it. We get it. We laughed. We talked about it enough. It's all good. However, for EO himself, I would like to point out something. You entertaining people over a mistake that you have made is just never a good look, dude. It's never a good look. You should just own up to it and just keep it moving. A lot of people can no longer hold you to that. Like, they will try to keep poking at you and get a reaction out of you, but don't give them that. Some people aren't here to laugh and to do that. They're just here to cause problems. They don't want peace. They don't want to pool. They don't want to play gacha games. They want problems. That's some people in this sphere. You see them, I see them, we've all seen them. You are literally their favorite plaything at this point. You really are their favorite thing at this moment. Like, you are a source of entertainment for those people. Stop being that. I feel like they really get that reaction out of you. You, in my opinion, should fall back, take a step back, and navigate better. Process your emotions better. I feel like it's very important. I will get more into that in a future video where that happened to me, and I was almost about to get emotional, but I managed to just hit the brake on myself. He needs to 10-10 his abilities to take blame. Hey, my man, EO, you heard it here, bro. You should level up the trace of taking accountability. Just go and level up that trace, and a lot of your problems that you find yourself in will drop down. I feel like the ego is definitely something you can work on. I feel like you're a very interesting individual. I have a I've met a lot of people like you. Like, I had a lot of friends that had insane levels of ego. I've met a lot of you. I met a lot of EOs in my life, and they will do dumb shit, and they will stand by the dumb shit they say and do, and just for the sake of I can't admit that I'm wrong, and I can't admit that I'm not like built like that. Like, cause that's just the image they have for themselves. That's fine. That's fine. It's just that you gotta draw that line, because at some point that ego just makes you look stupid. Like that's just the reality of the thing. To save face, yeah, exactly. It's because they have that image of themselves in their mind, and they want everybody to see them in that image. But you know what's crazy? People will always have a different image of you than yourself. You know what I've realized recently? Some people think highly of me than I do of myself. It happens. Some people think you're better than what you yourself think you are. Bro, someone has me as an 8. I'm like, bro, I'm like a 6 tops. Like, what are you even saying? Like, how? But it is what it is. That's just the world we live in. And vice versa. You see those bitches online, they be like, oh, I'm a 10. And a lot of guys will go, oh, she's a 5, she's a 6, etc. People are not going to see you the way you perceive yourself. That's just the reality of the world. This is the reality of things. And I feel like you should definitely go about it like this, because I feel like you're trying. That's just the vibe I'm getting. I could be way off base, and if I am, my apologies. But I feel like you're really trying to get people to see you from the way you see yourself. And I feel like you are a very smart individual. You just maybe let ego make you say dumb things, and that's. It is what it is. Like, we all have a flaw, and it is our duty to take full control of those flaws. So, in my opinion, stop sandbagging yourself. I don't know if that works. Stop sandbagging yourself. Stop throwing and giving people fuel to shit on you. Like, at some point it was kind of funny, but now I feel like we're a little bit of people saying, no, he's too cocky, no, he's this. Like, people are having a very negative outlook of you, and I hate to say that. I hate to see that personally. So yeah, my message to the community would be, let's make sure he grows from this. That should be our ultimate goal. Yes, you guys, we're getting our entertainment, but still, I feel like our ultimate duty should be, like, you know, make sure he's gonna grow from this, etc. And for Iyo to also do his due diligence and to grow from this. And for Pokey, well, I feel like when I talked to Pokey about this, I think he knew that making a video about it was gonna cause Iyo some problems. But he had to vent anyway, and that's when I talked about, like, people having the need to express themselves. Pokey is within his rights to express himself and post a video talking about what happened with him and his experience in the tournament, and how it just frustrated him that Iyo did what he did. That's within Pokey's rights, even though it had consequences, but it's still fine. Excuse people the need to be emotional and vent and express their emotions. Oops, sorry, not sorry. So yeah, I feel like Pokey had his freedom, and Iyo should live also with what his ego has caused. I feel like Iyo could have just negated this completely if he would have immediately taken responsibility. Like I said before, just be like, hey man, my bad, man, I apologize, I can do better next time, Poke, my bad, that's on me, man, I didn't even know my traces weren't full level, god damn it, man, I hate myself right now, my bad, bro, my bad, chat, see ya. That's it. You can just move on. But that's just me, though. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Was Iyo right? Let us know. Was Pokey right? Let us know. Is the community maybe taking this a little too far? We don't know. So let us know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. See you.